Before you were injured, it was banger after banger after banger. But since you've returned, it looks to me like it's been burger after burger after burger.
Did they call you back too early? Is that why the burger after burger thing happened?
No, that's on me, mate. So I was pushing for Mania. I was pushing for that Walter match at Mania, or Gunther match. I was pushing that match for Gunther at Mania, and it just didn't happen. So I was really hoping to end the trilogy on that note, and then that didn't happen. So I just kind of I lost a bit of motivation. It was like full on speed towards that, and then once that was kiboshed,
yeah, I
was like, fuck, whatever. And I just, so then I just kind of took the foot off the gas, probably drank too many Guinness, enjoyed myself too much.
That was Sheamus on the Insight podcast with Chris Van Vliet, really being honest and just kind of owning up to the fact that, yeah, I kind of let myself go a little bit there. I'm not one to talk. I mean, he looks like a fucking carved out of stone when he returned compared to me. But he was pretty puffy for a Sheamus. Especially when Sheamus goes out there in his little trunks and stuff. And then he wore the biker shorts on top of it. But it was his own fault. We all kind of speculated maybe he got called back early. And I guess the answer is technically he did, right? Because he wasn't, he was caught off guard by the announcement that he was coming back, which take note of that, by the way, for everybody that says Tony Khan doesn't communicate to his wrestlers or that the WCW used to do shit like that. You'll see shoot interviews with guys like, I was told I was going to be back on TV in 2 weeks. Take note of that, because there you go. WWE did it in 2024 to Sheamus. But Sheamus, opens up. I stopped giving a shit for a little bit after I didn't get my way to have my match with Gunther at WrestleMania. Sheamus, this was a very good interview. If you have not taken your time to sit and listen to this, he opens up, really good conversation. To me, though, the best part of this conversation, he was talking with Chris, and Chris asks great questions, by the way. He's been getting better at this. I used to criticize Chris early on when I did this show that Chris Van Vliet asked a lot of softball questions, and he really does. But to have the balls to look Sheamus in the face and say, what's up with the burger after burger after burger thing, man? You came back all fat and stuff. What's up with that? He didn't quite phrase it that way, but he basically asked that question. Why you come back all fat and shit, bro? But he also asked this question, which was fun. You're just super rough and abusive with people in the ring. Does anybody ever tell you to stop that shit? Check out this clip.
Have you had any opponents, you bring it in every match? Have you ever had an opponent who's like, hey man, ease up?
Oh yeah.
You don't need to hit me so hard.
Of course I have. Some are still there, so I'm not going to go down that road.
Sure.
But yeah, but most of them don't. Most of them enjoy it. I think most in the beginning are kind of they're a little they're taking it back there in the headlight stuff. But if you ask them afterwards, that was brilliant. 99% of them after a match like that, because I'm not dropping them on their head. I'm not breaking their nose. I did kick out Jeff Hardy's tooth once. That's probably the most damage I've done to someone. But it's all everything I do is say they could wrestle again tomorrow. It's not like I'm putting them on the sideline, or I'm putting them in surgery, or I'm putting them in hospital or on the shelf. None of that, because they'll come back and that was awesome, that was great, and you'll see this kind of adrenaline going in their face, And
do you ease up if they tell you to?
No. Absolutely, I go harder. That's the biggest mistake you could do, is pretend to ask me to ease up. Not a chance, mate. Not a chance.
And that's the other half of the banger after banger after banger, burger after burger after burger joke, right? The bangers. Sheamus has bangers. Every time he's in the ring, it's a fight. He's fighting people. He's beating the shit out of people. He's stiff. That's the definition of stiff. If you don't know what stiff is, the CM Punk Seth Rollins match, that was stiff too. This was any Sheamus match. Sheamus and Gunther especially. Stiff as fuck, bro. And I can absolutely see some wrestlers not wanting to do that. Because a lot of wrestlers were raised up in their training to believe that wrestling shouldn't hurt. It should look like it hurts. And if it hurts you, then you're the mark. Because that's not what this business is. The business is let's pretend to hurt each other and work the marks, not work ourselves. But at the same time, there's this athletic and competitiveness and the machismo and the testosterone. And like these are just big, beefy, bodybuilding dudes that maybe aren't going to be UFC fighters or anything, but they like that physicality. They come from football backgrounds and stuff. They like to smash up. And that's wrestling. I think, for everybody that says wrestling's fake and it's fake, phony bullshit and all that, and it still happens, by the way. I just heard it the other day from a news source talking about the Hulk Hogan shit. They had to throw out the fake line. Ooh, wrestling's fake. You're fake sport. Fuck off. But for all that said about wrestling being fake, there's nothing fake about a Sheamus match, dude. He punches people in the face. He gets punched in the face. You're coming out of there with bruises and welts and pink all over your skin and a black eye, maybe a bloody lip. But as he said, I'm not knocking people's teeth out. I'm not knocking them out. I'm not injuring them. I'm not sending them to the hospital. They get to get up and go to work tomorrow. And I actually like that kind of wrestling better. Like Punk and Rollins, man. They were physical as fuck. Bryan Danielson's also very famous for this. Let's go in there and beat each other up a little bit. A lot of wrestlers like to do that. I don't blame the wrestlers who like to work light and pretend it's all painful stuff, but it's really just powder puffy. But I also fully understand and respect the guys that like to get in there and just fucking bang it out and really just test themselves, These guys, they're not having full-blown UFC fights where they're trying to kill each other, but UFC fighters fight, and they spar all the time. And I guess they fight every few months or so at the most, and wrestlers do this multiple times a week. But, UFC fighters spar quite frequently. So, I guess there's that. And really, if you've ever seen sparring or partaken in a sparring match, it's kind of what like a Sheamus wrestling match is, right? You're hitting each other, you're making contact, you're testing your skills and your mettle and your endurance and your fortitude, but you're not trying to kill each other or hurt each other or knock each other out. I guess some people do, but that's a whole nother story. But you know what you're getting when you turn on a Sheamus match. You're gonna watch a banger, and I just appreciate the fuck out of him for that. And again, this was a really good interview. Good questions from CVV. Sheamus, very open, honest, humble, and just seems like a good dude overall. Somebody you'd want to share a pint with. That was horrible. That was fucking horrible. I'll admonish myself for that after I get off the air here. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Peace, love, and pizza. I am your boy, Seth Grimes. Click that subscribe button down there, please. And we'll catch you in the next video, fella. That video there was a real slobber knocker. Head on down to the comments, put a little barbecue sauce on the like button. And while you're there, I would subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. And leave a comment. Everybody's got a fucking comment.